What is up, y'all? And welcome back to another episode of the Talk of the Ring Show. If you are new here, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button because I said it the last couple episodes. I said it on live. If you weren't on here yesterday, that's okay. But, there's a lot of amazing shows coming up. New Era Pro Wrestling just released their poster, which I'm super excited for because if you don't know, I'm going to be the backstage correspondent there. So all the interviews, it's going to be so much fun. I know if y'all seen the post on Instagram, I was like, yeah, I'm so excited for this episodes because it was planned before and I don't even remember at that point what happened, but I was so sad. I was like, it's all right, we'll book something eventually. But let's give a warm welcome to today's guest. And what is the proper way to say your name before I butcher it?
It's Murphy Madsen, and then the shortened is just Murph.
Murph, got her. So I always hop right into it with who or what got you into wrestling.
So for me, I actually got into wrestling later in life. Someone showed me a video of Asuka, and from then on, I was hooked. I was like, I need to become a professional wrestler, and so my journey started from there. So yeah.
Okay. So is she one of your favorite wrestlers still?
Oh yeah, still absolutely. Face paint and all and everything. Yeah, I definitely will always have love for Asuka.
I'm the complete opposite, but I still support. But I'm the complete opposite. I'm full Bailey was always my girl, So I'm split right now.
That's okay. I totally get it. Bailey's awesome too. I'm super excited for WrestleMania, so that's going to be really cool.
Oh, for sure. So, are you a heel then, or are you a face? If people don't know.
I'm a face. I'm a good guy. Yeah.
No, yeah. And I mean, Asuka was a good guy for a little bit, and now she's a heel. So, yeah, I was definitely gonna say a lot of times when someone comes on here, I'm like, no, you're definitely a heel or you're definitely a face, but you bring off those vibes. I don't think I've seen you actually at a show yet, which it's kind of sad. But I've seen all your work, every post you make, I'm like, okay, I'll be there. But so I'm definitely a fan. But I think you're on the other side of the United States.
Yeah. I'm located in Washington, so yeah.
And I'm in Pennsylvania, so yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about wrestling everywhere now is all the different time zones too. And every time I book, I'm like, okay, well this is the time, and I'm like, oh, I totally forgot that could be God knows where too. So it's crazy.
For sure. Yeah, it gets definitely really tricky with bookings and things like that.
No, absolutely. So then, who? Let me speak proper English. Who trains you, or trained you?
Yeah, so I started out training lucha style wrestling actually with Lucha Libre Volcanica. And that was a super awesome experience. And then unfortunately, COVID hit, and I kind of made a choice. I was like, am I going to wear a mask? Am I going to become a full luchadora? Or am I going to also pursue American style wrestling? And so I decided to pursue American style wrestling, but I still do perform sometimes at lucha shows, but I haven't earned a mask yet. So that's pretty cool. And then right now I'm training with Dave and Chris at Dragonplex Dojo, which is super awesome. We're one of the most diverse training facilities in the Pacific Northwest, which is super cool. And I really enjoy training there and just meeting all kinds of people and just being able to spread the love of wrestling. So yeah.
No, absolutely. So if at one of your shows younger fan comes up to you and is like, I want to do exactly what you're doing, what advice would you give them?
I would just say, it sounds so corny, but never give up. I think that wrestling can be really emotional at times, and it's a really difficult sport because there is so much storytelling and so much athleticism that goes along with it that sometimes it's really hard to manage. So I think that even in those hard times, never give up and just stick to your dream. I think that's probably the best advice I could give.
No, absolutely. So obviously one of the big parts in wrestling is finding your character, your persona or whatever. So what was that process for you?
It was it's hard because early on I wanted to do more of a dark character, and and that's kind of a stretch from like my actual life, and so kind of balancing that, like that darkness and
Yeah.
everything was a little bit more difficult. And one of the most helpful things that my coach, actually, Dave Turner, he said, you know, wrestling is yourself turned up to 11. And so I just thought about it like, who am I, and what do I enjoy? And so I was thinking about it, thinking about movies and music and just things that I enjoy. And really, it just boils down to like, I love the 90s. Like,
Yeah.
my favorite song is No Scrubs by TLC, and that became my entrance music. And so just from there, I just started building a little bit on that nostalgia, but also kind of nodding back to some of the moves that came from the Attitude Era. So like one of the moves that I've been doing a lot recently is a stunner, you know, and just like paying homage to Stone Cold and stuff like that is pretty sweet. So yeah, just kind of incorporating who you are in wrestling, and not trying to be somebody you're not, I think is really, really helpful and really good advice.
No, absolutely. I totally get it. I mean, in my area, we have like so many new shows happening too. And like, there's so many like opportunities for anyone that obviously wants to be involved. Like, if you don't want to be a wrestler, you could do that or this or whatever. And it's like, I've texted like so many of the wrestlers out here and be like, I need advice because like, this is my like, I forgot what show it is, but like, it's I still get nervous. I'm like, what can I do to better myself? Because obviously I'm not a wrestler, but I'm an interviewer, so I'm like, coming from anyone, I need any advice. You know what I mean?
No, I absolutely hear that, and I feel that for sure. And it's so cool because, like you're saying, there's so many opportunities in wrestling, and
Yeah,
I genuinely believe that wrestling can be for everyone. You just kind of have to, you know, plug in where you fit, you know.
yeah,
And I, when I even started to, I started as a referee, and that's like a really awesome experience, especially if you're wanting to wrestle eventually, because you get to be in the ring, you get to see everything, you know, live right in front of you, and just
mhm,
how, you know, how the moves work, how that breakdown kind of goes. And so like that's super helpful. But like for me, like as far as interviews go, like I think just being prepared, like, and you seem
yeah.
pretty prepared right now, and so that I think it's working
I
out good.
I mean, hopefully. No, I'm just
Yeah, yeah.
so what would you say is your favorite thing about like wrestling as a whole?
I really like working with new people because I think the more variety of opponents you have, the better wrestler you become.
Mhm.
So like I'm not opposed to really working with anyone, you know, as long as they are a true trained wrestler. Like I think that it's really great to work all different kinds of matches, and just be able to get in the ring with as many brilliant minds as you can, because wrestling is something where you never stop learning, and I think that's pretty cool. And I'm definitely like always, you know, open to learning new things and mastering new tricks. And yeah, so I would say just getting to work with new people is probably the coolest part for sure.
No, absolutely. Okay. So then for you, what would you say is like the hardest part?
Probably the traveling. It it's hard because sometimes you're away from your loved ones, or you know, you're on the road for long hours, you're not eating the best, you're not sleeping the best, so that's probably the hardest part, like for me personally. But you know, also there is a physical aspect to it, and the training is not easy. Like it's one of the more difficult things that I've done, and I grew up, you know, being athletic and doing soccer competitively, and you know, just being, I don't know, active, riding a scooter,
Yeah.
riding a bike, all these things, right? And then you get in the ring and you're like, whoa, this is a whole different type of cardio. This is a whole different type of athleticism that's kind of brought out of you. So that in itself is very difficult, especially if you're not used to doing athletics too. So probably those two things, I'd say.
All right, all right. So now speaking as an overall dream, if you could wrestle anywhere, where would you want to wrestle?
For me, I really want to wrestle in the UK. There's a all women's promotion called Eve Pro Wrestling. And it's super cool. I've always enjoyed kind of the work the promotion has put out, the
Mhm,
storylines, just the way that everything is filmed, and the women there are amazing.
mhm.
Actually, now in NXT, I first saw Valkyria. I first saw her at Eve Pro Wrestling when I was doing some studying, watching a lot of just, random indie promotions and stuff. And obviously, like, they're putting out really good people too through that promotion. So I would love to wrestle there. So yeah, in the UK, that's kind of my big dream. And then, I kind of want to, with wrestling too, sometimes people can burn themselves out and be like, oh, like, I need to be on WWE right now. So I think for me, I just like take it one step at a time. And so right now, I've gone international, I've gone to Canada. And so, like, that next step, that next big step is to, eventually go to the UK.
No, absolutely. So, like, you take them step by steps, but if in the far future it ever came and you had to choose between like WWE and AEW, which one do you think you would choose?
Oh, that's really difficult because I personally, I really like Impact. So I love both of those promotions a lot. I don't know, like, it would kind of depend on like where, I guess, like where creative is at the time. Like right now, currently, with all of the changes that are being made in WWE, I'm kind of leaning more towards that way, where maybe in the past I would have maybe leaned more towards AW. So yeah, I really wouldn't know, like, until that was right in front of me. Like, I really wouldn't, I don't know for sure.
Okay. So now speaking on the, like, an indies level, if you could face anyone, who'd you want to face?
Right now, I would really love to face Delilah Doom or Danny Moe. I love Delilah Doom because she is straight out of the 80s, and I really want someone to book a Battle of the Ages, the 90s versus 80s. I think that'd be super sick and a lot of fun. She's a really good performer, and I've met her once in person, really cool person as well. So that'd be super dope. And then Danny Moe, I've watched her work. I really like her. I like her tag work that she did with the Neon Blondes. That was super awesome. And then her singles run has been really fun to watch. So that'd be super cool too.
Yeah, they are ones because I remember them like in Pennsylvania. They first debuted and now they're everywhere. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay, so then speaking on like a big time level, if you could face anyone, obviously maybe Oscar, but if you could face anyone, who would you want to face?
I think that's a really hard question.
It could be
Anyone?
past or present.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Honestly, I think I would want to face Becky Lynch at this point. She's done so much in her career and has just been like one of those electric personalities, and I think that she'd be really sick to work with for sure.
Absolutely. I love her accent too. Every time someone's like, "Oh, you have an accent," I'm like, no. Lynch has an accent. I mean, I guess it depends like where you're from because everyone has like a little accent, I guess. But Becky Lynch, no, I love the accent.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Okay, so you're still obviously young. You are young. If you had to choose, well, if you had to say, what do you think is going to be like the cause of you retiring? Like age thing, mindset thing, or an injury thing? Or what do you hope it to be?
I don't know. I think it would just be like kind of, my cat is sneaking behind over there. I think that it would just be kind of a mixture of like age and injury, I guess. Like, I want to go as far as my body will let me, but I also want to be realistic about it. So, like, I'm not going to be probably doing death matches at 50. Like, if that's all, like, if all of a sudden I became really well known for doing death matches and then they're like booking me, like, doing these all the time, like, that's just not sustainable, right? So I'll cross that bridge when I get there, but I think it would be a mixture of just like age and body capability. Like, if I'm just able to do it forever and I don't have any like adverse effects from it, like, that would be super cool. But if not, definitely I'll start slowing down as I get a bit older, I think.
All right. So in the chat, we have my dad chanting your name because he's a big hype man. And then he's chanting my name because, no. But all right, I get it. Okay, so do you think like after that point too, like in that far future, if you had to call it quits because of like body or an injury or whatever, do you think you'd still want to be involved in some way, whether it's like manager, training, whatever?
Yeah, I definitely could see myself doing that in the future. For sure training, and like I think that to be a manager it would have to be like a really special individual. Like I would really want to spend time with them and then help with their training process as well too. For sure. So yeah, like I think that it would be a mixture of both. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So I know it's kind of popular out here. I don't know like if it is over there, but are you a fan of like intergender, the male versus female?
Absolutely. Like I think that the more competition the better. Like I definitely think that that's something that can happen definitely in professional wrestling, because I feel like with it being less of a blood sport and more of like a work of of sportsmanship, I guess, like that it's a little bit easier to like make that choice,
Yeah.
instead of like just punching each other's brains out. There's more finesse to it, and there are finishing moves and things like that. So I'm definitely like for that. Again, like as many like beautiful minds as I can work with, like the better. So yeah, I totally think that intergender wrestling's cool for sure.
For sure. I mean, so are you kind of said it before, but are you like if they offered you like a death match or a hardcore like weapons, what is your initial like what's going through your mind when that happens?
So I've worked a street fight before, and so I've done chairs, I've done what else was out there? Chairs, cleats, that was interesting. Like there were trash cans involved. I wasn't in the trash can or anything. But yeah, so I've done a little bit of that. I think it would depend on my opponent and what the story was. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna just show up, at a place for no reason and just do a death match. Like I
Yeah.
would want it to be like a real feud and really build up to it, and then I would definitely be down for that for sure. Yeah.
All right, all right. And we are aware obviously injuries happen. You are currently injured. What are some like have you had any crazy injuries or is it just like, broken bones, you know?
Yeah, I haven't the this has really been like the first situation that happened, and it was just poor timing, and yeah, this has been about it. Just dealing with the whole arm situation, and it's really sucked, but it's been kind of cool because I've stepped back, kind of looked at my move set, the things that I'm doing, what I want to do differently, and stuff like that, and what to look out for and how to do things in a way that's a little bit less injury prone and stuff. Granted that this happened because someone was way too excited with a chair, is really unfortunate, and I kind of get a little bit heated like thinking about it, but anyways, so yeah, like and I've had the chance to like work with other people and new trainees, and that's been really cool too, to kind of do that little step back and be able to like be one of those beautiful minds that I've talked about and share stuff with people, so that's been cool too.
No, absolutely. Because then, like, while you're out, you can like be like, okay, I see like my opponents. Those are who I want to go for. That's my goal, and then that's a whole nother storyline. So
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So we have World of Dynamite saying, "Gotta love hardcore matches."
Yeah, they can be pretty sick. Like for me too, though, the most disappointing part of a hardcore match is when you set up that table or that door and it doesn't break. It's like, come on, man. Like if you're gonna go hard and you're gonna set that up, like that stuff better break,
No,
So yeah, for sure.
no, and that's why I say it all the time. I give it to you guys because personally, if I got thrown into a door or went through a table, I'd probably be crying. So for you guys to like pull it through and not be out there crying, I give it to you because I could never. But so
You.
okay, so next, do you have merch? And if so, where could people purchase it?
I
I'm
do I do have merch, but it's currently right now just like at the shows. Unfortunately, I'm hoping to get on Brainbuster Tees or something soon, and then also get some new designs out there. I've been thinking about once I come back off of this injury, maybe getting involved in a tag team or something. So that'd be super tight. So we'll see where that goes. And then that's a whole new like opportunity to support girl power
Sure.
and stuff. So then we'll get all that up there at once, hopefully. So yeah.
All right. So maybe I just also gotta bribe you in your DMs, be like, please, please.
Yeah, pretty much.
We'll see. I mean, it's all right. Well,
No,
maybe
yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
yeah, I also can use it as an excuse because I know my dad's watch and be like, I think I have to get a t-shirt or something. So we have to just take that trip over there. You know what I mean?
There you
Like
go.
it's a
Yeah.
vacation too. Why not? Let's just go.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah, it's super cool because the promotion I'm really working with a lot right now, it goes through my training facility, and it's close to my house, so that's super cool. Just out of Everett, Washington, and this Sunday we have a pretty big show coming up, so I'm excited for that.
All right, yeah. So my dad heard that we'll be there. No,
Oh, there you go.
we'll be there when we get there.
Like, come on.
Right, we'll ditch work, everything. That's all right.
Yeah.
So do you have like a specific warm up you do before like you come out the curtain?
Yeah, it's kind of silly. I jump up and down in place and I kind of just like amp myself up. Sometimes like I do a little chest pound, shake it out, like just try to bring my energy up and get ready for like what's about to happen next, So yeah, just like a little hype up.
All right. I see you. So do you have like I don't even know I don't even know how I was gonna word that question, but let me go to the next one while I try to process that. Where can people find you on social media then?
So I'm mostly on Instagram. I do have like an account on X or whatever we're calling it now because it's not Twitter. But it's Murphy underscore Madsen. So yeah, check it out.
So okay, so like when you had your first match, if you can remember all the way back to that time, what was going through your mind? What was you thinking? How did you think the match went overall?
Yeah. I was extremely nervous. I wasn't sure if I was ready to do this. There was a little bit of a thought like, oh, what did I get myself into? Do I really want to do this? Because it's hard putting yourself out there and like getting in the ring with someone. Anything can happen, so fortunately it was a good friend of mine, and we had been friends for a while, and he's helped me with some stuff, and so I had that trust there, so that was good to like be with an opponent that I kind of knew. But then like afterwards, like I was a little bit skeptical because it didn't end like super well. Like I ended up with the win, but it could have been better. Like I feel like some of my move execution wasn't where it should have been and things like that. And so I think that I loved it. It was really great for a first match, and it was a great person to be with at the time, and stuff. So like I liked it. I just think that there's always room for improvement,
No,
so,
absolutely.
yeah.
So you seem like a pretty positive person, but do you ever find yourself being like watching your matches back and being like a self-critic and being like, come on now, why'd I do that? Or I could have done that better, just like beating yourself up over it?
Absolutely. I think that most wrestlers are because again, like a lot of us like to learn and improve like our craft and stuff. So like when we watch it back, sometimes it's a little bit like, oh, and I actually recently talked to someone where they're like, oh, I don't watch my stuff back because it changes their mindset about their character a lot, or or it just affects them, and that's okay too. But like for me, I wait a little bit and I watch it back, or there's certain ones where, I will watch back and certain ones I won't. It just kind of depends on the scenario. Like, and so, yeah, I definitely always think that there's something to learn from when you watch your matches back. And so as much as you can, like, definitely watch them back, but it's a personal choice as well too.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'm not a wrestler, obviously, but like when I watched my interviews back, I'm like, oh my God. I personally like you just said, I can't watch myself back because I'm like, oh my God, I sound like it's just different, obviously, through your eyes. Like everyone is probably their own worst critic. And I can definitely say that's why I'm like, oh my God, no, I can't.
Definitely. And I think too, it's good to get like somebody else's eyes on it. It's super cool because like a lot of wrestlers are into like helping each other, and that's super awesome. Like Adam Brooks. He's out of Australia. He's a really great guy. And I just said, hey, can I send you some of my matches? I haven't done that yet, but he was totally open to it. He was like, yeah, I'd love to like watch your match and I'll give you some pointers and stuff. And I think that that's a really great mentality to have too, because then that way, you know, either they can bring out something good that you didn't see or bring out something maybe like a flaw that you need to work on. But I think that in wrestling, you definitely are your worst critic for sure. Like I've been in that space. I've, you know, I think everybody in this business has cried over the business, to be honest. So
For sure.
yeah.
So my dad asks, coming from like injuries or bad matches or whatever, what keeps you inspired to continue wrestling?
For me, like this is so corny and very 90s, but for me it's girl power. Like honestly, like I want to be a representation for girls like me. I feel like you know, I always say this, like Princess Leia was someone who was able to like kick ass in a dress, and like I think that that's super awesome, and it's really important for little girls and women to see other women in empowering positions. So yeah, that's why I do it. I do it for girl power.
No, absolutely. I love that because there are so many times I would go to a wrestling show and everyone's like, "Oh my god, you're so small. We're like, where's your muscle?" I'm like, just wait, because that one day I'm gonna get that muscle and I'm just gonna sit over here and kick your ass. Girl power, and be like, I don't want to hear it now.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, yeah, absolutely. So, out of all the places you have wrestled, is there one like spot specifically that you're like, I really like this place and I'll come back anytime I got the opportunity?
Yeah, honestly, all the spots I've wrestled so far have been pretty awesome. Like I really enjoyed wrestling in Canada because the fans are a little bit different.
Yeah.
They're more invested. Like I felt that way. It could have been like my first time like, oh, this is a goal of mine, and like romanticizing the the moment. But like for me, I loved it. I thought that the fans were super invested. ASW is a super great promotion up in Canada, kind of near Vancouver and stuff. So yeah, like I would definitely go back to Canada anytime. It's super awesome. So yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone always says Canada has like a lot of like fun wrestling. Like it's from what I've seen, it seems great over there. Like in the UK too, but it's a lot more. For me, it's kind of intense because if I see blood or I see the weapons, chairs, I'm like, have fun, but you gonna be hurting later. I'm telling you that now.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's fun. I think for personally, I hopefully people agree, but I think like being involved in like the wrestling world, it's like everyone's a team. Like we all become a family. So I think that's really great.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that 100%.
So I mean, I was really excited to have you on. It was like my top. I was like, I have to. I told my dad too. I was like, when that first time, I don't even know what happened that first time. I know we booked and then just I don't know.
It was like we ran late, there was technical difficulties and it just all this stuff, but I'm glad to have made it on, and it's a new year, a new time, so it's gonna be good. Year of the Dragon, it's gonna be awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously you're gonna heal, you're gonna get better, and then you're gonna go back out there and kick ass. So I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Absolutely.
And I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will be posting next week's episodes tomorrow because it's gonna have we're doing 3 episodes, guys. It's my birthday week. We're gonna have girl power. We're gonna have so much fun. So, and we do have an episode on my birthday, which I keep talking about. If you guys don't know him, it's Mr. MIT. He's one of the biggest heels in the area. Everyone hates him. I hate him too, but I'm excited to have him on. So make sure you're giving her a follow absolutely on everything. Please and thank you. And make sure you're subscribing because you don't want to miss any episodes. But I'll be back Monday. Bye, guys.